It's a thrashing win for Lakshya Sen.
Yep, amidst all what is happening in the Olympics, which is, I would like to safely say, has been a very, very bittersweet day.
Oh yeah.
But I would say it is more bad news than good.
True.
Yes, you did win a bronze. But then if you look at what you had expected it to be out of your prime medal contenders, we'll come to that a bit later. But there's also another circus going around in Mumbai. Okay, far, far away from Paris yesterday, amidst all the chaos. Yesterday, there was a BCCI meeting with the IPL owners. And certain very interesting things have emerged in the meeting, which is what we are going to discuss in this IPL, in this dugout today about this. How many rules will be changed? Will the BCCI listen to the franchises heading into IPL 2025 on certain things? Because we've got a clarity on certain things at this point in time. One is the retention. Second, mega auction. Third, RTM.
Fourth, overseas players.
Overseas players. Fifth, a certain twist in the changing of the rules for one particular legend at this point. Okay?
Oh, particular legend.
Yes, yes. Now, we are all wondering, there were comments made by Delhi Capitals, there were comments made by Sunrisers, there were comments made by, no comments, it was a one statement played out on loop by Neswadia of Punjab Kings. Why didn't CSK release a statement? We found out that CSK did release a particular thing. They want a change. Okay, but then before we come to that, the one major thing which we all focused upon was that there was a big debate between Shah Rukh Khan of Kolkata Knight Riders and Neswadia of Punjab Kings. But Shah Rukh Khan got support from Kavya Maran of Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Yes.
Now, she's against the cap on overseas retentions. And she seeks ban on players who don't show up after being purchased.
And what she is also in favor of is that either you have 6 or 7 retentions for this for the new IPL cycle, or you have as many RTMs if you do not want those retentions.
Okay, so two things have happened in this. Okay, the first thing is that how many number of retentions we don't know. It's all in the air. It's 4, 6, 8, 10.
And the final update of it, as it has been reported, will be done in the last week of August, if that is
last week of August.
Yes.
But then, if you have to look at 4, 6, 8, 10 retentions, if it's more than 6, then does it make sense to have the mega auction?
Then it's just, I think it would be just namesake a mega auction. I think it would be equivalent to a mini auction only.
Simple, I think if I have to put it in one line, if you are going to retain, if each team is allowed to retain 6 players, then 60 of your top players are already not going to go into the auction, which means
more than
the auction
60
will lose its relevance.
More than 60, because then if you're having 6 retentions, then you'll have at least 2 RTMs also. That would clearly mean
now
that is clearly the core of your team wouldn't change.
True.
Now, first major question: who is the fan of the mega auction here? Are you a fan of the mega auction? If not, why? If yes, why? Are you a fan of the mega auction, Sid Gulati?
I don't mind, seriously.
What is the main reason? One reason that you can give me.
See, there are 2 things that I've always noted about the auction since the time I've started covering the Indian Premier League, which was approximately 10 years back. One of the things that I really like is that there are those franchises like CSK, for that matter even Kolkata Knight Riders, Mumbai Indians, they go for those calculated picks. And we can, name all those examples from Nehal Vadera to Tilak Verma to all these players who we literally haven't really heard about. They went after them, and it wasn't just that they went after them on that particular day. It was the talent scout, the work that they had done in the previous months or so before the auction. So one is that. Second thing is definitely that like I am literally a big fan of is that how do these, big players or maybe, the likes of Shikhar Dhawan or for that matter, even in case of we had Saurav Ganguly also, that out of nowhere he was picked by Pune Warriors India.
Sara Pune Warriors.
So these interesting things also happen, and sometimes it is also the case of picking a wrong player in name of Shashank, saying okay, we didn't want this player but we wanted someone else. But yeah, I think coming back to the point, it's also a case of these out of favor players being handed that lifeline, which can really prove to be useful for them if they are to resurrect their India career or any of your international career for that matter.
But don't you think that for that the mega auction, I think, is more, it's not the points you are making. I think for that it's more likely all of these things to happen in a mini auction, because somebody like an Ajinkya Rahane or picking a Saurav Ganguly suddenly, I think when you're past your pride, such things I don't feel would happen in a mega auction. Such things can only happen in a mini auction. And the reason for that is that in a mini auction, teams want players for a specific role. And maybe somebody just needs a captain, maybe somebody needs experience in them, in their team, or something like that. Or things like that happening, possibility is much higher in a mini auction.
See, coming into the day 2 of the auction, which is usually the final day of that mega auction, it is more of a mini auction only. Because till that time, most of your core is set. And that is when, those surprise picks, or rather I should say those interesting picks usually happen. So that's why I'm like a fan of it, because it also gives a new lease of life to these players.
But then, are you a fan of the mega auction or the auction in general?
Of the mega auction only, because it is the mega auction that provides an opportunity to these players. That is the point. That okay, you can still be picked.
I feel for that personally, I feel that for that to happen, I think more chances of that to happen are in a mini auction. Because I feel that, again, like I mentioned, it's about specifically picking the roles. I remember Chris Gale being picked by Punjab on day 2 of the mega auction. This was the same reason.
Yeah.
Definitely.
For his base price.
For his base price. Such things definitely happen. But the possibility of a player actually coming out of the blue, that is more in a mini auction, and players actually bagging such high amounts also can happen in the mini auction only.
Fair enough.
Not in a
mega
auction.
For me, if I have to look at brand loyalty, if I have to look at advertising and all the other things, a mega auction is a nightmare.
Okay.
For one simple reason, I will associate who is the sellable face of a franchisee. Over a decade, ever since the start of the IPL, you associate a Virat Kohli with the Royal Challengers Bengaluru.
MSD with the CSK.
MSD with the CSK.
Rishabh Pant for that matter with the
Delhi Capitals. Rohit Sharma with the Mumbai Indians. Now suddenly, he may change franchisee, but then what about my brand value? What about my core identity by which my player is identified? My franchisee is being recognized through the eyes of the fans by a certain player. Mumbai Indians should know it. When they tried to replace Rohit Sharma as the captain, look at the backlash that they got when Hardik Pandya stepped in. Guarantee, if Virat Kohli steps away, there won't be an RCB fan base. Guaranteed. And MS Dhoni steps away, look at the number of fans that will dwindle in the franchisee fan base. There will be a lot of ultras who will say, oh, CSK through and through, we bleed yellow, we bleed blue, we do all those kind of things. But they will be in the very small minority. When CSK weren't there, MS Dhoni in Rising Pune Supergiant, did it ring a bell? Was there a brand value, brand recall, brand attachment to it? No.
And after what happened in the second season for RPS, when MS Dhoni was sacked as captain and Steve Smith was appointed.
Same owners of LSG,
the same owners, in fact.
Yep.
So things didn't really go well for RPS at that time too.
No, they played the final.
But they did. I'm not saying, about the performance. It's about what happened off the field.
Off the field.
So,
that is more important in the IPL.
So, if you look at it, for me, a mega auction is a bad idea. If I am thinking as an owner. For us, there's an intrigue, which player will go where.
Yeah.
That excitement is there.
And I'm fine with that, because that is what even also excites me about the auction, because I want to see, okay, which team is going after, such XYZ player. Okay, are they going after him because they do not have any of the other options left, or are they really going after him?
In this case, I would like to agree with Kavya Maran and Shah Rukh Khan about their stance on the mega auction.
Yeah.
They are against it for a simple reason that why should a player go away from another franchisee when he has devoted a certain time to it and he's gotten better in that franchisee? Kavya Maran cited the example of Abhishek Sharma. It took Abhishek Sharma 3 years to get consistency, but now suddenly he's in some other franchisee. Then why did we invest in him so much?
But Sidvi sir, don't you feel that maybe at max 3 players you can sort of hold back and keep in the retention. But don't you feel, see, what's the purpose of the IPL? Why did IPL actually become the brand that it is today? Because of the eyeballs it catches, because of the, all these things happening. Last time also you saw how Hardik Pandya got traded and all of that happened. Where does, I feel all the excitement that comes for the viewership, at the end of the day, it's being done for the fans. So I'm just thinking from the perspective of a fan here.
But again, I would like to, normally I don't want to look at it from that perspective, but I get why the owners are adamant against a mega auction. I will have no brand recall. I will have no brand value.
That's a good
now,
point.
Punjab Kings, they are the classic case.
Yes.
Why do you think Neswade would have had, of all the guys, Neswade would have had this conversation and had an argument with Shah Rukh
Because
Khan?
there is a very, very good chance that Punjab Kings, I think apart from maybe Shashank Singh and Arshdeep Singh, they might not even retain anyone.
Who was the brand recall value for Punjab Kings ever since IPL? Who?
Only one player comes to my mind, Yuvraj Singh. That's it.
I didn't even have your
They tried things with KL Rahul, they tried things with R. Ashwin, they've also tried things very seriously with Shikhar Dhawan. But do you see that thing happening in the future?
No. Even I could not recall Yuvraj Singh because of the reason, because after Kings 11 Punjab at that time, he was in RCB, he was in
DC.
Delhi.
No, he played for Pune Warriors India in between.
He was also in RCB, he was also in Delhi.
Yes.
Yeah.
SRH also.
Mumbai Indians one season, 2019.
He's won 2 IPLs, Yuvraj Singh, 2016 and 2019.
So that's why I couldn't sort of.
So the Punjab Kings case is the ultimate litmus test.
Yes.
That's why I don't want a mega auction.
That's why they want a mega auction.
They do a mega auction every year. They dump players left, right and center and they build castles in the sky and destroy that castle. Now, okay, who is the recall value in Delhi Capitals?
Rishabh Pant.
Only now.
Yeah, that's what Rishabh Pant. I think Delhi Capitals also sort of now started to go the way
I can
of
name 2 players very easily. Virender Sehwag and Shreyas Iyer.
Delhi.
Easily.
I could even
Not even Gautam Gambhir for that.
I would
Not
recall a
even
Gautam Gambhir also. I can recall
My only point is, you can obviously recall Gautam Gambhir, you can obviously recall Shikhar Dhawan, but when he asked the question, what is the first name that comes to your mind? I think that is usually the name.
Don't you think it's Rishabh Pant, because he's only played for Delhi Capitals.
So that is the
not
thing.
played for anyone else.
Okay.
There are
Fair
two
enough.
extremes. There are
Fair
two
enough.
extremes. Okay, one, a mega auction, if you keep at this point in time, it destroys the brand value. Just ask Punjab Kings. I don't even recollect their season of consistency where they've had the music also. What is the music of Punjab Kings? RCB also I can't recollect, but with CSK, MI, KKR, I know the music, it's consistent. I
even
know
know
the
Delhi.
name, what I can recall. KKR means Gautam Gambhir.
You are aware of the fans also.
Aware of the fans. CSK, MS Dhoni. RCB, Virat Kohli. The other new franchises are too new at this point. GT and LSG, they are quite new.
Still
so I
very
can't.
early years.
Okay, Rajasthan Royals. It was forever Shane Warne. Whatever way you look at it, was Shane Warne. So that is why there is a strong brand recollect, and the mega auctions only kill that brand recall value.
But see, why don't you think that I sort of agree with your point, but just a flip side of it, don't you feel that there are certain teams that have sort of been the favorites and are the favorites all throughout these years? You have Chennai win so many titles, Mumbai win so many titles. Don't you want a little change in the ecosystem of the IPL?
Now, okay, how much has Mumbai Indians or Chennai Super Kings, who are the two most successful franchises, now Kolkata has joined them, how much chopping and changing of their entire franchisee have they done?
Very less. You look at the first few years of KKR, I think they were very inconsistent in terms of team selection. There were multiple captaincy changes from Dada to Brendan McCullum. I think if I'm not wrong, there was I think in 2011 it was Gautam Gambhir who was brought in as the marquee player.
2.4 million USD.
I think 11 crores approximately. Then he was their captain. Then there was Gambhir consistently. Then you had Dinesh Karthik. There was Eoin Morgan. And after that it's been Shreyas Iyer only. And Nitish Rana for one season because Shreyas Iyer was injured.
So, hardly any chopping and changing.
But
so that's why the three most successful franchisees are staring right in your face and saying, no, we don't want a big auction.
But Sidvi sir, don't you feel the teams that have it in them, who have who know how to build a team, can do it? See, like with Mumbai Indians also, before last mega auction, there was an option of retaining 4 players, 3 Indians and 1 overseas. They still sort of.
Or you could also retain 2 overseas also. Two
Yeah.
Indians.
At max you could keep 3 Indians.
Yeah.
That was the rule
That's
basically.
fine, yeah.
And then and 4 retentions at max. But after that also they sort of build up on that, and now again they have that brand value. So I feel the teams, even same goes for the Chennai Super King. Mumbai Indians also, you remember last time they went all guns blazing in the mega auction for an Ishan Kishan. They still managed to build that brand reputation again. They still managed to stand up from there and sort of become that team again.
The flip side in that is, who was at the helm in Mumbai Indians?
At that time, nobody.
No, what are you saying?
No, Rohit. Yeah. At that
He's
time.
talking about the skipper.
Yeah.
That's the name. Did Rohit Sharma go into the auction? No. That answers the question.
No, but even now, if you see, but most of the coaches, even if now you give them 3 options, I don't think Rohit's going to be one of them. It's going to be Bumrah, Hardik, and Surya. So Rohit, this time also,
We don't know. See, it depends on the number of retentions. It can be 4, it can be 6, it can be 8, it can be 10. No consensus has been arrived by the owners on that. If it is 6 or 8, then the point of a mega auction is useless.
I think pretty much it depends upon which section of fans you are a part of. If you are a part of the section of fans who just wants to see good cricket, irrespective of whether Pat Cummins plays for SRH, CSK or any of the franchises, it's absolutely fine there also. But if you are a part of the section wherein you want Pat Cummins must stay at SRH. We have to, take him. We must make sure that he remains a part of this franchisee for the years to come, and we are not going to release him in any of the mega options. Then it's also okay. But overall, if I have to take things into consideration from what Siddharth has said in terms of brand recall, then there is no one, and I say no one, who comes close to CSK, MI and KKR.
Yep.
No one.
Now you forgot one more name, RCB.
Yeah.
RCB,
But they have just
multiple
one
chopping
name
and
now.
changing.
Huh?
They have just one name.
But that one name is big enough
Yeah.
to make sure that they have a loyal
You
fan
will
base.
never put a Virat Kohli in a mega auction. Never. That'll be.
Even if there's one retention there, you know who it is for.
I know. So that is what. So you are a fan of mega auction. You are a fan of mega auction. I am not a fan.
As
of
a
mega
fan,
auction.
I would want it. Yeah, because it gives me the thrill.
There is Virat or Bumrah, both in mega auction.
Then you'll have to. Then the purse that is given to friend 95 crores. You'll have to get an addition.
It's going to get 120 this time, if I'm not.
Even then, if you get Bumrah and Virat in the mega auction, you are crossing 50 crores.
Yeah, easily.
You are crossing the 50 crore mark. Yes.
Any
In
team
one
would-
of those guys is getting a 50 crore. Definitely.
50 crore is, I think, too much. But that one thing is for sure that Bumrah, if he is a part of the auction, I think he'll easily go for 40 crores.
I still
Easily.
feel
35,
an
40.
art if the best scenario could be to retain 2 players and have the RTM for 3, because at the RTM what will also happen is there are a lot of players who weren't happy with the fact that the overseas players are getting over 20 crores. But then in the RTM, what advantage everyone will get is, and the players will also be okay with that, is that they'll get their true value, or they'll know what is the reality once they are in the auction.
Okay, true value. Let me tell. I'll just highlight one thing about the true value that Chennai Super Kings are going to bring on, because there is a report going around that CSK suggests IPL rule change to retain MS Dhoni as an uncapped player. Okay, now let's just go down.
Because he is retired.
He's retired.
And that is pretty much going to be the same for all the retired players.
So, according to the rule, if a player was retired from international cricket for 5 or more years, they would be classified as an uncapped player. Majority, apart from CSK, majority of other franchisees was not in favor of reintroducing
this does not make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Because obviously, MS Dhoni will complete his 4th year of international retirement now.
5th year.
Fifth.
Oh yeah, 2020.
He retired in 2020.
2020.
It was in 2019.
2020
Yeah.
to 2021, 2021 to 2022, 2022 to 2023, 2023 to 2024. But the grey area is 2024 to 2025.
See what
No, but
Will he still
in MS
consider
Dhoni's
retired?
case, will they count the last match he played or when he actually announced it?
when you announce your retirement
Yeah,
from that
yeah.
particular
August
day.
15, 2020.
See what this might do to franchises is that if if the players who have retired 4 or 5 years ago, if they are being allowed to be, be a part of the auction as those uncapped potentials, I think what it would mean is that they can lower their base price. And even if there is a team or there is a franchise who wants any XYZ player, like, okay, we can probably have him for 1 or 2 crores, but we might not spend 5 or 6 crores on him because we would rather invest in someone who is young, then I think it's an advantage, because you can have someone at a lower base price and you still wouldn't have to spend too much on him.
But
that could be
No, but I think it's about the retention thing also. Maybe it's not about how much you get MS Dhoni at. It's about retaining him, because you could see a rule of maybe being able to retain a specific number of uncapped players.
But this probably throws up an interesting conundrum. If CSK are reportedly saying that can we get MS Dhoni as an uncapped player, it could mean one thing. He's not playing IPL 2025. That might be the thing, that perhaps what he played in that Bangalore game
Could be
was
his last.
probably his
Could have
last.
been his
No, or
Because then
maybe
why
he
would-
just plays as an impact player.
But again, why would you want to spoil a place of a much more deserving guy in the playing 11 by just having Dhoni as an impact
Maybe
player?
he
Which brings me back to the point of brand value.
No, you will get him only if you're batting second and just 3 or 4 overs are left, then you can use him. Otherwise, if you need a batter to stay longer in the middle, then you can send in someone else.
No, it's not happening for two simple reasons. One, Dhoni will not bat that higher the order.
No, lower
that's
down
not
the order.
Even lower. How many?
2 to 3 overs.
He is a wicket-keeper batsman.
See,
you
if
need a
I'm-
wicket-keeper
if
batter.
I'm
You
a-
need someone to guide the team.
See, if I am a franchise, my point here is that if I am a part of the CSK franchise here, with all due respect for MS Dhoni has done for CSK, I think it is unmatched. Nobody can even come close to it. Pretty much, if I'm looking at it from a very fan perspective, and if I am an important stakeholder of CSK, I would rather invest in someone who is young rather than in someone like MS Dhoni, who is obviously good for me just from the brand value perspective, but not from the performance point of view.
That has already gotten stalled. Project CSK Reset was put back 3 years.
So isn't it better that you keep him in the backroom staff if it's about brand?
He
value?
will always be a part of the backroom.
Then why
staff,
retain
even
him
if
as
he's not named as official?
But if there were no talks about him playing the next season, then I don't think this report would have come.
Look,
Because otherwise, if it's about just brand value and you have to just get him somehow into the team, you can have, it's better when he's not going to play. Then why waste one retention on him? It's better to keep him in the support staff.
I will not say brand value is at play here. I think CSK are in a conundrum. What to do? The conundrum of MS Dhoni, it has hit them now. Like, should we keep MS Dhoni or tell him, boss, your time is up? Or do we persist with him for 3 more years? The conundrum, as I was pointing out from day one, you have to persist with a certain guy. Okay, he will not do well for 1 season. He won't do well for 2 seasons. But you have at least looked in the right direction. A reset is never easy. Now, you're stuck with a big MS Dhoni elephant in the room. What do you do now? This is the reason I think CSK, with this suggestion, I think are panicking. They don't know what is to be done. Chennai Super Kings stalled the reset project when they hastily got back MS Dhoni as the captain in 2022 halfway stage. You won them the title in 2023, great. But then what was your long-term future? You compromised on long-term future goals for short-term game. Rituraj was the captain, but he finished 5th. He's not taken CSK to the playoff. What do you do then? MS Dhoni is there, but then what am I going to do? Can I tell him, can you be there for 3 more years? His fitness is definitely not with him. Let us be very clear about it. He had a surgery, but then throughout IPL, he was injured.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was injured. Now I want him for 3 more years with the same thing. I'm like, yeah, how do I tell Thala Dhoni? What do I do? Can I ask him to play for 3 more years?
No, I think
knowing
it's
fully well he'll be
communication.
totally limited in whatever he does.
No, I think as far as this communication is concerned, I think it's going to be mutual, because till now, if he's playing and everything's been going on, and you know how well his relations are with the owners, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
But this suggestion that they want the rule change is an indication that perhaps MS Dhoni is not going to be retained by CSK also. And whether he is going to play IPL 2025, that has thrown a big spanner in the works. Let us be very honest, he is 44 years of age. He will be 40, he's 43, he will be 44 in July 2025. Can you play with him? Is he a Praveen Tambe that he can play until 48, 50?
But Sidvi sir, don't you think this report is more about the fact of him actually playing the next season? See, because I'll tell you what I am thinking about this. If this wouldn't have been a report and this wouldn't have come up, I was pretty sure you're not going to see MS Dhoni next year as a player, but you're going to see him somewhere in the support staff as some role, mentor, coach, whatever. But because of this report, what I feel now is that why this could be a possibility. Maybe the situation would come from BCCI that you can only retain 3 players. Okay, now if you could only retain 3 players and you know that an MS Dhoni can only play for about 1 more season as a pure batter, as an impact player, whenever you need him, maybe he comes to bat, maybe he doesn't come to bat. Okay, then is it worth it to retain him in that 3 players criteria? No, it isn't, clearly not.
No.
But if this rule comes in that retired players can be called, can become in the uncapped category, and then BCCI's diktat comes that 3 players you can retain, apart from that you can retain 2 uncapped players. So in this scenario, they are not wasting the 3 retentions on MS Dhoni, they are using 1 uncapped retention on him. That gives them.
But that way, BCCI would have to specify a rule that a retired player can be used as an
But I'm saying
player.
why?
That is the point.
No. I'm saying they want this situation because of this reason. That is what I.
Now,
And
okay,
he's right,
as far as the impact rule is concerned, okay, there are a lot of comments on the impact rule that came about. But I think many people are not in favor of the impact rule. I think
Starting with Parth Jindal.
Parth Jindal of the Delhi Capitals, he had said that.
It openly.
Yeah, he said, Shivam, if we can have that plate up
Slide,
of Parth
yes.
Jindal that we had done yesterday. Okay, so Delhi Capitals released the statement that was told to them, and then out of all the owners, only Parth Jindal was very forthright in saying what was there.
He's this person who spoke the most. I
He
think.
spoke the most, and he gave us a lot of talking points also, because he said impact player rule had different views. It was discussed in earnest. Some owners wanted it as it gave a chance for younger players to get a chance. Others did not want it because it is detrimental to Indian cricket for the development of all the other players. Now, here in sports today, we have been very vocal about the fact that the impact player rule has been woeful.
Okay.
It is killing the brand of cricketers called all-rounders.
Yes, it is.
Parth Jindal and Delhi Capitals, he said it on record at that time. You can check the video that we have put out also, that he's not in the camp that is in favor of the impact rule. So, why do you think that led me to the MS Dhoni situation, that he may not play for one simple reason? Perhaps most of the franchisees are not in favor of the impact rule.
No, but I'll tell you, I'm saying even if all 10 franchises are not in favor of the impact rule, I don't see that going anywhere, and I'll tell you the biggest reason, because all the money that is being generated is coming from the broadcaster, and the broadcaster in no way is going to let the impact player rule go, because we have seen, it's very clear, the players have also now come out and said that they are not in favor. Virat Kohli, somebody,
Rohit Sharma,
these people don't talk, they're not people who come so upfront, they're really at times diplomatic, which is obviously right because of the position they are at, but coming out and saying so openly and everything, and still it's there. I just feel that because all the money is being generated by the viewership, by the broadcaster, so I feel that they don't want to let it go, because as soon as that go, people, now the bar for the IPL, your 200 is now 230. As soon as the impact player rule goes, that is going to come back to 200. So that could, impact the viewership also.
The impact player rule did the ultimate disservice to one particular player.
Yeah, Washington.
No, Virat Kohli. You know why? Because he gave one interview on the sidelines of the IPL when RCB were in that first 6-game winning streak that they had in 2024. He said, I could bat at 170, 180, knowing fully well that the impact player was going to come in at number 8.
Yeah.
But then where will the impact player rule happen in the international form of things? The impact player in the Syed Mushtaq Ali was just a cautionary test. It was an experiment. It was never meant to be a full-time thing. Which is why I think looking at the practicality of international cricket, looking at all the other things, the impact player rule doesn't make sense for one simple reason. Two simple reasons. One, protect the all-rounders. If there was a thing that, justice for the bowlers, save the bowlers when those shirt fronts were dished out in Hyderabad and Delhi, and also Mumbai, then why on earth can't the impact rule be scrapped, which will ensure that you save the all-rounder? You are all asking, where is your next Shivam Dubey? Where is your next Hardik Pandya? With the impact player rule, forget broadcasters. Broadcasters never care about the benefit of cricket in the growth of the
Exactly,
country.
that's why they'll want this.
Now, forget that. You will want to ensure that you keep the impact player rule, knowing fully well that in 5 to 7 years, your all-rounder species is dead. It doesn't happen immediately. It will take 2 years, it will take 3 years. After that, the rolling cycle, where is my all-rounder? A player comes to the Indian cricket circle thinking, IPL mein I'm not going to be utilized.
Yeah.
Which is why Nitish Reddy is a rare commodity at this point in time. We have to preserve him. So that is why looking at it, the impact player rule seems certain to be scrapped. I am pretty much sure about that. The key decision on mega auction, that's what Jay Shah, the BCCI secretary, has said. Mega auction decision has not yet been decided. We took franchisee opinions and will decide later.
Which is going to be in August. Yeah.
So this is how it may be. Recommendations were given by the franchisee to the BCCI.
And I think one more recommendation that we haven't touched upon is, would you rather put a ban on those players who get selected in the auction but then later do not come to play the IPL?
Of course, I am all for a total
So what
ban.
if it is a legitimate injury? Then it's a different case.
That is what.
But there have been reports that there is a certain Sri Lankan cricketer who did not come and play for SRH.
I know the cricketer. You need not say that.
Yeah,
But
we
look,
can name him also.
Yeah, it's Vanendu Hasaranga, and there's a report that he did not come to, playing for SRH this season in IPL 2023 because he was selected at a very lower price than he would have expected, because in the previous
10.8
occasion
crores.
he was a part of RCB for more than
10.75 crores. But then see, I don't agree with that report. Hasaranga's injury was genuine.
Yes, it was. He missed the test against Bangladesh also at that time, na?
No, you know what was the reason
Yeah,
behind
why he
that?
missed the test?
He was
So that he
banned.
could escape the
He
ban.
yes, he could escape the ban.
He would escape
so
the
he
ban.
reversed his retirement.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's because it was something that you have to miss one test.
Yeah, you have to miss 4 T20Is.
Or one test.
Oh.
Now he chose the one test thing and then he said, okay, I was picked but then I got injured. Now I don't believe, I think Vanendu Hasaranga was genuinely injured. He had to go to the US for some specialist treatment also. So I don't believe in that report that there is a certain, that the Sri Lankan player Vanendu Hasaranga is in focus. No, absolutely not.
But then what about the players who get selected in the IPL, just like Jason Roy and all, but they opt out because of some
Personal
family issues? Or I think if not a ban, there has to be some kind of
You know
penalty.
what? This is where the BCCI will be tested.
Yes.
How do you determine the legitimacy of a player missing because of financial reasons, because of personal reasons, because of an injury? How do you determine?
No, but what are you going to do about it? I am saying even if you determine.
There is a suggestion that ban that player for a couple of years. Don't let him play the IPL. That is the deterrent. But how will the BCCI and the IPL determine that? How? I just don't understand. You say certain things, for example, the commandment on January 2, 2023, where was it all implemented? How will they implement it?
Yes.
This is the major asset test. So I understand now what the system might be, okay? BCCI will have had a meeting with the franchises. BCCI and the GC are going to do it, have a discussion. They will then decide step by step. Okay, we'll have a mega auction every 3 years or 5 years. We'll keep the existing status quo. How many, following that mega auction, how many retentions per franchisee? Step 2. Step 3. Whether we have the RTM, I think not many franchises are on board for the RTM.
Yes, yes.
4.
During the meeting.
The impact player rule, I think, might be scrapped. Possible. 5th will be on what CSK has said. Whether you want to change the rule for the retirement thing, whether you want to keep it at 5 years, whether you want to exploit the rule, because it was, anyway, that rule I think was Hemang Amin, if I'm not mistaken, who had gotten the rule. So that is why it's going to be very interesting. This 5 points, step 5 that we have said, this could be decided by August, and it will have a big bearing on future IPLs also, because IPL 2025 is when you may have the last of the last mega auctions. Unless you keep the retentions to 8 or 10, then there is no need of a mega auction.
Yeah, true.
And it will be simply through RTMs and all those trade-offs, because there's also trading, and this time the trading window was chaotic enough to ensure that it was in the news for all the wrong reasons. So
Okay.
that is the way we
Let's
look at
do a before we get to the comments, let's do a quick prediction round that how many players are BCCI going to allow to each franchisee to retain. So starting with Shashwat.
No, I'll go last. You two go first.
I would
You
like the
tell the Indians and overseas both.
I would like to stick with the old formula of 4.
Either 3-1 or 2-2.
3-1, 3+1 or 2+2. I don't mind that. I think it was a decentish thing. You retain your core also, you allow certain other players to come in looking at the Indian psyche of the IPL. But if honestly, if you want to ask me, keep 10.
10?
retentions.
Then what's the point?
Then don't keep a mega, because I
Yeah.
started my thing by not having the mega. I don't want the mega option.
What is your prediction? Your prediction.
My prediction is a total of 5 retentions. But the point here is there isn't going to, do not keep any cap on the number of Indians or the overseas that you are going to retain. So let's just make it that you can even retain 4 overseas player also and 1 Indian also in that aspect. So do not keep any major cap that okay, you have to retain 3 Indians and 2 overseas. That should be gone, but 5 retentions is okay.
According to what I feel it could be is that you might just have 5 retentions, but the rider here is that 3 retentions in which overseas it can be only maximum 1 overseas, it can be 2+1 or all 3 Indians also, and the 2 players the other 2 players could be just uncapped players. Because why I feel uncapped players? Because I feel there are a lot of players whom the franchisees have been investing in, and maybe they would want to hold them on.
Only SRH have done this. I mean, they retained an Abdul Samad.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Umran
Malik, they did that. KKR didn't. So that's why I Love Mutton Biryani is saying teams who've got good squad want more retentions and don't want
Even
mega
Shivam Bhaiya
auction.
wants to predict.
What happened?
Yeah,
you
please.
predict
For me, 5 retentions and formula was the same.
4+1.
4+1.
4 Indians and 1 overseas.
Maybe 4 Indians or 3 Indians plus 2.
Okay. That's
RTMs, would you want RTM?
No,
Right to
no,
match.
no.
No,
RTMs
RTM
for me.
RTM, I don't know. RTM,
I thought the RTM was a flawed rule. I honestly was not a
Yeah.
fan of the
No,
RTM.
I like the RTM. See, it's so nice for a Rinku Singh, see, who's been retained for 50 lakhs over the past couple of
Krunal
years.
Pandya was picked up by a
8.8.
franchise.
Yeah,
And
no,
then MI
but-
picked them
But
up.
wouldn't
through
Rinku
RTM.
Singh want, see, because as he goes in the auction, he gets his price. Then KKR can retain him for that same price. It'll be so fair.
Siddharth, who picked this Krunal Pandya in the first go?
I think it was KKR.
RCB, I think it was
No,
RCB.
not RCB.
No,
I think it was
RCB.
KKR.
Or maybe SRH.
Could be SR.
Could be SRH.
I don't remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I Love Mutton Biryani was like saying KKR had a weak squad heading into the mega auction, going into the last mega auction. Ideally, 4 retentions plus 2 RTMs at max. And most importantly, mega auction cycle should be increased to 5 years. That's what most of the franchisees want at this
Yeah,
point.
that's also okay.
Yeah. Sports Freak is like saying, just go down a bit.
Shivam, can
We
scroll
should
down?
stop calling Indian athletes as medal prospects in Olympics until they win
Knockouts.
as we are certified losers in knockouts, repeated crumbling under pressure. See, I know where he's coming from, okay, from what happened today with Satvik Sairaj,
Satvik.
Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty. I can understand what happened in the table tennis games also yesterday. Shrija Kula losing when she had a 4-point lead in the first game and 5-point lead in the second game. But some nations do much better, and India, unfortunately, even in their cricket, have crumbled under big. And you're supposed to be the big daddy in cricket, right? What happened in that? You lost the World Cup final still. Some nations managed to step up in the big pressure games. And I think, see, in India, what is the major issue for us is we think we hold pressure as a badge. Oh, if you work under pressure, you'll be rewarded. Nothing like that is there in the outside world, if you look at it. You will look at flying, look at piloting. When you have stress, your human brain stops to function. Now I've got the weight of expectations, the stress is so high, I will fold up. Na? That's what happened to the Satvik, that's what happened to the Chirag. But see, why do we rate them as medal contenders? Because in the past 1-2 years...
Rated them as medal contenders.
You know, see, 1-2 years prior to the build-up of the Olympics, Did they not give us hope? If we had said, oh, those performances are all flash in the pan, they say, oh, you've been too negative, yaar. You don't know how to analyze the sport. It's a catch-22.
You really have to, look at the previous record also, and their previous record was outstanding. That
Yeah.
is why, even I think people here predicted that at least a final is very, very much likely for both Satvik and
No,
Chirag.
but today is a disaster. I
Yeah,
think for
it's-
me, more than Kusale's Olympic bronze,
Yeah.
for me, I think this has been a disastrous game
Yes.
because of what's happened with Sachi. So that's why I will just, I'm not in the mood to speak over it all over. I was very
I still
heartbroken.
can't believe it.
Deepu, change in impact rule like only all-rounder player can be IP. And with conditions like must bowl 2 overs
Can
and
be
bat it
impact
for
player,
12.
yeah, okay.
A broadcasters wanted so bad an IP rule must be changed. I mean, I want to scrap the impact
Yeah.
rule.
Even
True,
I
true.
want to.
It's not helping India or Indian cricket or the IPL at all. It should be scrapped. So, developer saying all 5 Sri Lankan bowlers suddenly got injured, 5 players. Well, it's their bad luck here. I mean, develop it, you may be laughing at Sri Lanka, but look at India in the 2021 BGT, what happened?
Yeah.
You lost so many bowlers. Shami got injured. Yes, then Siraj had to step up. Navdeep Saini got injured. Shardul Thakur had to step in. Then Ashwin got injured. Then you had somebody else coming in. So you were
Those
dealing-
injuries were also happened because you did not have all the training facilities. Also, you literally had to live in a very closed
Yeah.
environment due to COVID. So that was also a thing that there wasn't any proper recovery. So all those factors also were in talks at that time. But still, we won.
We won. Yep.
Yeah.
But all those players injured after the
After the game, but then I don't know. See, even Pattirana also he played that third T20, but then he didn't bowl a ball because he was injured.
Yes.
Now that is unluckiness. What do you do about it? So, Sarat Chandra, why should teams need mega auction? It's foolishness and wastage of teams' work over the years. Mumbai have always lost talent. Why need scouts every year and scouting? Buy like how we do in fish market. I mean, the mega auction does give you.
That's a perspective.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's it.
Last question we'll take and then we call it quits. I think 5 retention is ideal,
By
offers
Priyanshu,
both continuity and freshness. Sidvi is right. CSK are in catch 22. They want
They are.
Dhoni to play, but also it will hurt their auction planning. This is why that report, timing of the report is not coincident. I think CSK don't know what to do with them as well.
Yes.
Which is why I'm like, boo. Be all the best, folks. If you want to tell MS Dhoni, sir, you're not welcome from next year. It's like, see, I understand before we leave, I understand why owners want to clamp down on players who want to quit because of personal reasons. Supposing I have taken an offer letter from one organization, but I go to another organization with a better salary. But then I tell them, no, I don't want it. All the efforts of this organization go to waste. Nothing in that sense.
And they build the team, they will build the team around you. then.
Yes. So
Maybe they'll build the team around you and suddenly you go in the vacuum.
But the player perspective then is not understood. Na, yaar, I went for better money. Why you have to blacklist me then? That's also unfair. It's an open market. It's a
Has it
capitalist
happened with
market.
you?
No, it's not happened with me. Thankfully, no. You can check with all my other peers. It's not happened with me.
who are the 4 or 5 retentions for CSK?
so I-
Rituraj Gaikwad for
Yeah.
me, one, definitely. Jaddu, I think he will have to play for another 2-3 years with CSK.
Dubey.
Dubey, yes. Then one foreigner for me will be Pattirana.
Rachin Ravindra.
Rachin Ravindra is a one season wonder, he's gone. I would say Pattirana.
Okay, so if
That's 4 for me.
like I am going to go.
You said 5, you want 5 players.
Okay, if there is you have 5 or 6 retentions, then MS Dhoni will be.
No, MS Dhoni will have to feature then.
Okay, for me, 5 retentions will be Ruturaj Gaikwad, definitely. As the skipper, I'm going to back him. Second is going to be Sheikh Rashid, for sure. Third, Nishant Sindhu, because you will have to build a core with young players now. Fourth is Shivam Dubey, and fifth is Daryl Mitchell. These are going to be my 5 retentions.
Interesting.
Daryl Mitchell
Mitchell, oh my god.
said, in an ideal environment, okay.
Not
No, I'll just give this question to him. Sheikh Rashid and Nishant Sindhu, how many games have they played for CSK?
None, and that's why I'm going to retain them. Because you have invested in them, na?
Why do you want to spoil their career? CSK is a career spoiler in
No,
the
but
IPL.
they can't be
yeah.
a star. They can't be the core of the team. Na? That's the problem.
But then who do you pick then? Do you pick an
you don't
injury
have
prone
an
Deepak
option,
Chahar
no,
or
no.
an inconsistent Shardul Thakur?
No, you
Or
don't have an
Patirana who is
option. That's
injured?
what he's saying.
I get that, but then
Could be Tushar Deshpande.
it could be.
Also.
So you'll give 10-12 crores to a Sheikh Rashid and
Patirana's must.
what's the other Nishan Sindhu?
Or
You
looking at his
don't really
performance
have to
last
do
year,
that. You
Fizz.
no, that's not happening. With
Either
Fizz, it's not
Patirana or
happening.
Fizz, but then you'll have to keep a
we can have a
Patirana.
whole separate dugout.
My point is that I would want to retain players who are young and who can obviously form a core of my team going ahead.
So
why
Dube
not?
Rituraj,
Yeah, for me two.
okay, Jaddu, because he is the talisman, he'll have certain things he'll have to revolve as the
Okay,
next senior.
so I missed Jaddu. So two of the three, Nishant Sindhu, Sheikh Rashid and Jadeja. So two of the three of them. I missed Jadeja.
Very, very interesting.
Ruturaj, Jadeja,
Ah,
Patirana,
okay.
and Shivam Dube. That's it.
4, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's ideal. See, we know KKR's 4. Rinku, Shreyas, Sunil and Andre.
Russell.
That's
And maybe if there is one more Indian, Nitish Rana. I think he was the captain.
Harshit Rana you won't take a
Harshit Rana, yeah.
you wouldn't even take
Or
a
it could be even
Angresh.
Venkatesh Iyer.
Angresh Raghuvanshi.
Venkatesh, yes. No, Venkatesh.
Yeah, Angresh
Venkatesh.
Raghuvanshi.
Ankuresh Raghuvanshi, not
Suyash. Nah, I think Suyash has stopped
Varun
there.
Chakravarti.
Oh yeah, Varun. KKR have problem plenty. Don't ask me RCB, please. It's the most difficult thing. Only Virat Kohli I can think of. I don't know anybody else.
Siraj? Mohammad Siraj?
Mohammad Siraj too, but
Patidar,
Yeah,
Yeah,
three.
Rajat Patidar
three.
definitely.
Siraj, Rajat.
Siraj, Patidar and Kohli.
That's
Who's
it.
the
But
other?
what I've heard, there are some franchises who don't
Anuj
just
Rawat.
want to.
Maybe Maxi.
They want just one retention.
Maxwell, for his inconsistency, I would say.
No,
Don't give me a heart attack here. You
Maxwell
go.
will be picked in the auction for sure, but at a very lower price. This
Anuj
time.
Rawat.
Hmm? No. I don't think that's happening.
Everyone knows why
They
he's
want
in the
one
team.
big name, with big foreign player. Na?
Foreign player.
See, I don't see Fab du Plessis
No,
being a part of RCB.
He's
again.
retired anyway.
Saurav, do you see a buyer for Saurav Netrawalkar?
For overseas, Netrawalkar.
I
Yeah,
do.
it could-
I
could
do.
be.
Yeah,
MLC is the highest wicket taker. I was going through the stats yesterday.
See, he won't go for a
He
big
can
price,
be an
but yeah,
associate.
he'll be
One,
picked.
2 associate members can come in the auction.
Yeah.
They can.
Yeah, he'll be definitely in the auction.
Retention, na? Although
No, he won't be retained. You're talking about retention.
See, in
No,
case
no, retention.
In case of associate players, it's a rule in WPL that if you have an associate player in your team, then you can field with 5 foreigners.
That's a lovely rule.
Yes.
I would love that rule to be implemented in the IPL.
Yes.
But then Delhi Capitals has always squandered their
Will
advantage.
Jacks,
Will Jacks, that's a good bet.
Yeah,
but
good shout.
see, he did hit 100 of 41 balls.
yes.
No, who would Delhi retain?
Priyanshu Singh, Green.
Green for 17 and a half that they've invested on him last year. I think it was a waste of
He has a
investment.
good point. Who would Delhi retain? I think Pant,
Pant.
Tristan Stubbs.
Yeah, Stubbs definitely.
Stubbs, yeah,
100%.
for sure.
Stubbs.
Could be Jake Fraser-Mega. Could be. I'm not sure.
I would say Aksar.
Aksar
Aksar,
to
definitely.
definitely.
Three. And another
Mukesh.
one. Huh?
Khalil.
No.
Khalil.
Kuldeep
Yadav.
Kuldeep
Yadav. We said
Come
it at
on,
the same
Aksar,
time.
Kuldeep, Tristan Stubbs and Rishabh Pant. Delhi done. Now don't
Okay,
ask Punjab
okay.
Kings, please. That squad itself is a kerfuffle for me. Arshdeep, barring only Arshdeep.
Arshdeep or
Shashank
Shashank?
Singh,
Maybe.
Like
Shashank.
Ashutosh.
Ashutosh,
Yes.
maybe one of them. Ashutosh or Shashank might be retained.
So,
Two.
Prab Simran, yeah, they'll definitely retain
They
Prab
would
Simran.
want to retain a Prab Simran. Yes.
Let's see.
But who's the overseas then?
who?
Overseas for Punjab
Nobody.
Kings.
Sam Paji.
No.
What about Rabada, Baji?
That's not.
Rabada, yeah, Rabada.
Yeah,
But again, Rabada's underperformed. Yeah. Very poor he's been. What about, why not another name? Yeah? Harpreet Brar.
Of course, they will retain.
Harpreet Brar, yeah, Punjab Kings has been one of their ace bowlers in this. Yes. RR, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Joss Butler, Sanju Samson, and Yuzi Chahal.
Yeah. Yuzi Chahal deserves to be, deserves to not go into the auction.
SRH.
Mr. Parag.
Abhishek?
But
Oh, yeah.
Parag, but again 4 I've already
No,
got.
Parag, they will, 100% they will.
Or maybe take him at a lower base price. Lower
Possible,
price.
possible.
No,
You
you
won't be
think they'll
retained.
buy him back?
See, Yashasvi, Butler, I mean, you can't go past
No,
them.
no, I'm-
Samson.
Samson, you can't. Chehel,
No, you might just leave out a Chahal and pick
It's possible. I think he's
Riyan
right.
Parag.
They might just.
your leading wicket taker for the
Arey,
franchise.
you don't know. Yeah, they have made Riyan Parag who he is today.
It's going to be a tough choice, but okay. I think
Yeah.
that's pretty much about it.
Mumbai, I think Bumrah, Surya, Hardik, and Tilak.
And blank checks are going to be ready for a
I
five-time
think your
IPL winning
highest
captain.
player this time in the auction is going to be Rohit Sharma.
Possible.
It's going to be
I second that.
SRH, Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma, Pat Cummins.
Punjab Kings, Harshal Patel.
No.
I feel that I feel Rohit Sharma is going to Delhi. I think that's happening.
Delhi?
Yeah.
As
that's
skipper.
happening.
No.
I don't.
Then Pant to CSK.
Pant won't mind playing
Pant
under Rohit.
won't.
I'm telling you, Pant
No,
won't
Pant
mind
won't
that.
mind playing under Rohit, but
Sources
even
in the
Rohit.
know?
But even
Sources in the know.
No, Gulati in the know.
No, but even Rohit won't mind playing under Pant.
Like for the first time, I'm talking as a fan, na. So.
No, I'm telling you, even Pant wouldn't mind playing. Rohit wouldn't mind playing under.
But yeah, I think keeping things from a very general perspective, I think Rohit Sharma could be the most costliest player in this auction.
In IPL history.
It could happen.
Could happen.
If
could happen.
KL will play for RCB, then Rohit will be featured.
I think
No, I don't think you'll see Rohit Sharma in the auction. I think it will happen.
A trade.
Yeah, trade off.
a trade of that also could
Yeah,
happen. Yes.
could be.
All cash deal.
All cash deal. Yes.
cash.
KL is definitely going to RCB.
Yeah,
LSG
definitely.
will take care of Rohit Sharma.
Let's see.
It could be JSW versus RPSG in the blank check wars.
They to already have Rishabh Pant, na? That's why.
Yeah.
We
But
don't
if
want
Pant goes
KL
to
Rahul,
CSK?
please. He's not going to CSK. If CSK was going all these reports, all of this
Then
wouldn't
why
be
is
happening.
Dhoni ka thing is not certain? Nah, this Dhoni thing has put me in a total fix.
I'm pretty. If Rishabh Pant was coming to CSK, you wouldn't have seen Rituraj last time captain.
Okay.
But you never know. Jadeja was touted as a captain for 2 to 3 years.
He is also the brand ambassador of JSW, Rishabh Pant.
We don't know, nah. Strange things can happen in the IPL.
Yeah, can
also.
happen, but I don't think that.
Chalo, so let's see. That's a discussion by the way. But tomorrow, apart from the Olympics, you also have India versus Sri Lanka, the ODI series that's going to begin. Very important
Much
series.
awaited.
Very important series though, because you're playing only 6 ODIs in the build-up.
We'll have
of the
your world
championship.
champions back, World Cup winning captain.
Yep, you've
Again
got
at the top.
Rohit and Virat back, and let's see how Sri Lanka can put up a fight. Let's see if that happens. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back. One more major event in the Olympics today with PV Sindhu at 10 p.m. So from me, Shashwat and Siddharth Gulati, it's bye-bye. Press that bell icon and subscribe to Sports Today. We're nearing a very important landmark of 500k. Help us get there before the Olympics. Bye-bye.